Hey guys, so this month on Patreon, we're going to be diving into your special psychic abilities, right? And we're going to be talking about different psychic tools and why they're so powerful. And I'm going to share all of the ones that I'm super a fan of, or that have helped me at some point in my life, even though I don't use them anymore. So today we are talking about pendulums, okay? So if you don't know what a pendulum is, a pendulum can come in different shapes and sizes and designs. And basically it's this structure. It's usually like some sort of chain or string. You probably can't really see this one that well, but this one's a piece of string that I made at home. And then it usually has like a weight at the bottom, or it has like these beads that you could use to manipulate stuff. So the whole point of having a pendulum is the fact that it tells you things. It can help you understand divination, right? You can fortune tell with it. You can also use it as like a GPS finder to find things. So like, let's say you lose something in your house. If you have a really well organized and trained pendulum, it will take you exactly to wherever it is that you need to go to find your lost keys or any other object that you have. Now, why is this one made on string? I made this one bootleg just at home one day. I got really, and you guys can do this too, if anytime like you guys kind of feel like you're not connected to your psychic abilities or anything else like that, you can definitely take this pendulum. You can make a pendulum out of regular string, put some beads if you have any, or tie a crystal to the bottom of it. So you grab it, you set your intention. Pendulum, you are for the highest knowledge of all. I share my consciousness with you so I can gain higher consciousness of reality itself. May you always speak to me in truth and for the highest good of all. And then you'll feel something click. So whenever you feel whatever it was click, you can go ahead and use it. Now you have to program your pendulum. If you buy a brand new pendulum, even if it's not one that's homemade, you have to program it. If you do not program it, it has stagnant energy from the shop that you bought it from, or the previous owner, or it just may have never been trained before. These are like pets. You have to really think about your pendulum and anything else that you have as pets or children, right? So you have to put training into it for you to make sure that it works. And the best way to get training into it is by bonding with it. So for some of you, it's going to be super easy at the beginning, because you know how to trust yourself and trust the universe, right? So just using this one, I'm going to ask it a question. Show me a yes. And you can see that the energy starts moving, and right now it's doing a clockwise rotation. So I'm gonna bring my arm down a little bit so you guys can see that I'm not moving my hand. It's just funneling and it's spinning. So clockwise for me is yes, and usually clockwise for you is gonna be yes as well. So I'm gonna stop it really fast. All right, so show me a no. And now it's doing a counterclockwise rotation. That's a no. Okay. Maybe it's not rotating for you. Could you please show me a different sort of yes? And now it's going up and down to show me yes. Can you show me a no? And now it's going from side to side saying no. Okay? So that's how you, first of all, program your pendulum, okay? Now, the cool thing about a pendulum is that you can really make a pendulum out of anything. You can make one like this. This one's getting a little bit frail. It's a little bit harder to see too because the string is purple. But let's say I'm in the middle of the woods and I'm like, oh man, I can't feel any of my psychic abilities. What do I do? I need to find the closest source of water. And this Herkimer diamond pendulum that I have is almost perpetually on me. Okay? So what better to give me higher consciousness than something that's on top of me all the time? The only difference here is like if you don't have a class to untie it, you're gonna have to grab the whole entire string. You're gonna notice that if you have a heavier pendulum, like maybe one made out of solid gold, it's going to be a lot heavier to move. If you have a pendulum with a really solid string, it's going to be a lot heavier to move because there's more matter there, right? But also they're weights. So that's the cool thing. If you have a heavier pendulum, you can start off with a really light one and then get one that's heavier and bigger. And it trains your chakra system. And in the next episode, I'm going to show you how to do pendulum training with with like energy work, just kind of like bodybuilding with energy work. But for this one, okay, I'm in the middle of the woods, all right, and I need to find the closest source of water. So can you show me the closest source of water, please? Remember, I'm just gonna hold my hand here. So it's pointing towards two directions that way. That's my kitchen. And they're also, no, it's going past the kombucha. So I have a kombucha next to me and it's pointing directly towards the kitchen. That's the closest source of water that it knows that I'm talking about in my present reality. Imagine me doing that in the middle of nowhere. And it's gonna keep showing me that. Okay, so let's throw out something different. Which way is north? North, east, south, west. Okay, so how about, where's my dog? It wants me to let go. So sometimes you're gonna have to position your hand over because you're gonna notice that there's not enough tension or enough slack for the pendulum to swing. So my dog is right there, sitting right next to me. Let's do one more. Let me see. Show me the camera. Where's my camera? My iPhone. And you're gonna feel like there's this tension that's and you feel it on the string. And that's how you know what direction. Because sometimes people are like, well, it's swinging back and forth. How do I know if it's not telling me to go that way instead of that way? Well, okay, you feel like there's a gravity towards the direction that you're supposed to go in. And that's pretty much how you can use your pendulum in an everyday scenario, out of an everyday object, something that you cherish and you keep close to you. And they work just as well. Why? Because it's based off of your consciousness. So if you trust your crystal, if you authentically know your crystal's worth something and you're wearing it all the time, you have a divination device here all the time. You can also draw on a piece of paper and put quadrants. So on a piece of paper, you can put at the top, yes, no, and then maybe. And then you can put your pendulum right in the center of that grid and then ask a question. And they can go ahead, and if it's yes, it'll swing upward. If it's no, it'll swing sideways. And if it's maybe, it'll go the other way. It might help you a little bit more understand what your pendulum is trying to communicate. But ultimately, you want to be a new earther. Magic is everywhere. So you need to learn how to do a pendulum on the fly, because this is one of those like really special techniques that the ancients used to use quite regularly. So this is Ascended Master Antojai. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. See you in the next one.